What's up, YouTube family? We are back with another crazy one. And so far, we actually did say right there in the free Telegram community that I'm definitely going to drop a video on how you can trade BTC and be able to like flip on BTC effectively, right? And this is literally going to be using the easiest the trading strategy, which I've literally like modified so far, and it has literally worked out over and over again for me on my own end, right? So I'm literally presenting this all the way to you all and expecting that you all get to see the same results as I did see. And so far, if you've literally been following me all throughout, you would understand we actually do major flips on BTC and Good. And the major asset which we actually look at is the SAU USD pair, right? And so far, BTC, we actually do flip on BTC just once in a while. But right now, I'm literally going to drop this particular setup on how you can be able to do this over and over again. Uh, Before we continue, right, I'm literally going to show you also for the free Telegram community, and I hope you will be able to like click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community if you are literally looking to be part of this, right? So for our community, we actually do have this right here, and it's literally every single trade taken so far community, right? Including last week we actually did a 500 to $13,000, and it keeps going on and on and on, right? So without wasting much time, I'm literally going to hop straight up to the chat, and I'm literally going to give you all a very big breakdown on how you can actually catch this impulse, this impulse, this impulse, right? And in as much as you are going to catch all of this particular trade, right, it does not necessarily save you from the fact that losses might come in sometimes, right? So I'm literally going to scale down all the way to the 15 minutes time frame to show you all the trades which we've actually looked up so far for this particular concept, right? So far we actually did have this impulsive sell all the way to the downside, impulse all the way to the downside, and then a loss right here, impulse all the way to the upside, and we actually had impulse all the way to the downside. So this literally suggests that this particular setup, right, actually has the presence of an impulse always being present, right? And pretty much we actually want to make sure we are always on the right side of the market, and then we get to experience all this impulse, right? Because this is how you are going to be able to take a 50 USD all the way to 500 real quick with literally zero to no crazy risks attached to this particular setup. And when we talk about crazy to no risk attached to this particular setup, we're talking about being able to leverage on as low as 50 USD to maximize profit all the way to 500 or more, right? So how do we actually go about this setup? Now, again, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and stick to the end of this particular YouTube video to be able to like grab this entire concept. Now, this is literally an easy one. As we actually do say on road so far, we actually do look out for the easy high value areas in price. And in respect to this, we actually make use of the daily because we actually want to make sure we capitalize on the impulse, right? So I'm literally going to clear out my chart right now, and then we are going to be looking at a very naked chart at this particular point. Now, for the need for a bias, right, we actually don't want to like get stuck up to a particular bias. All we literally want to do is show for the particular day. And then first of all, you actually want to map out the current levels and price, right? And when we talk about the current levels, let's call it high value area, okay? So we call it high value area, so HVA, okay? So starting with this first sell setup right here, we can see that price actually did make use of the previous, should we call this the previous support zone or previous resistance, right? We did see that price was actually making lower lows right here, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? Lower highs. Now, in respect to us, we actually want to make sure we have these high levels of high value areas already been mapped out in price, and we actually want to see it pan out in real time. Okay, so we actually do have a key level right here. Okay, and then this is going to be a typical high value area. And when we talk about high value area, we're talking about core SNL levels, right? And this, for you who have been following up in the free Telegram community, we call this a blind spot, right? Again, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel and you are very interested in joining our free Telegram community, don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community, right? So right here, we actually do have the presence of this daily resistance level, daily support level. We can literally target any of this, so because at the end of the day, we did see that price got rejected from it, providing support to push price all the way to the downside, providing resistance to price current push all the way to the upside, right? So we actually do see this high value area, which we call this a blind spot setup. And what is a blind spot setup? A blind spot setup is practically a filled bullish engulfing candle. So we see the presence of this bullish engulfing candle that failed to hold price all the way to the upside, and then price gave a continuous push all the way to the downside, and we did close below it, right? Giving a full body closure below this bullish candle, right? Now, after doing this, I can actually go as far as price will take us. We would see that price did create the same thing right here, high value area, and it keeps going, and we did see the same thing happen right here, high value area in price, right? Now you actually want to map this out in respect to the weeks and not just focus on just the borders, right? You can literally make use of the weeks, but I would advise for advanced traders, right? You should or intermediate traders, right? You should actually make use of the body, right? Because that is where the real price action happened. And for you who are new to this particular concept, make sure to actually make use of the weeks, right? Because you actually want to make sure you're not getting confused. Now we actually have three setups in price. We actually do have this first one, and we actually have the second one. We actually have this third one, right? And as I did say, you actually want to make sure you're mapping it out in respect to the weeks to make things easier for you. So I'm literally going to break this down right now and make sure you will get to understand the core dynamics behind this particular trade setup. So firstly, after mapping out the daily level, right here, we actually want to make sure we're scanning all the way to the 4-hour time frame, or let's say the 1 hour to make it easier. So if I scale all the way from the daily to the 1 hour, because the 1 hour also depicts a swing trading time frame, right? So we can literally make this the 1 hour. So scaling all the way to the 1 hour time frame right here, we do see that price actually did present us with a very clean SNL level, right? And hence we actually do see that this was a level we mapped out, right? We did see the presence of what price gave us a drop, retracement, second push to the downside, continuous retracement, and then lower low, right? And in respect to SNRC type 2, or the second SNRC level states that whenever we have a resistance to price and then price comes back to retest it, right? On the third retest, we are going to see a significant rejection to the upside or to the downside, depending on the scenario, right? So this is what it depicts right here. So let's say price is bullish, we see this level, retracement, level comes back down, pushes all the way to the upside, comes back still to the same level. We are going to see a closing impulse from this third leg, okay? So this is the same scenario that actually panned out at this particular point. So at this particular zone, we can't see any SNL level present right here. We can't call this a QML because this is literally not making sense to call this a QML, as we have a level already nested at this particular point. So all I'm literally going to do right now is to have my area of focus at this SNL level. One thing we should understand, again, is we are not literally looking to scaling just into this particular trade by jumping in, right? For those of you who are new to this channel and who want to know more about the continuation setup, don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description or go to the videos right here on our YouTube channel, right? So this is just the SNL level present, okay? Now, a lot of persons will be like, oh, bro, like, if you actually make use of this particular level, it means you have a lot of noise right here. Now, we are just most definitely going to filter this out, as this is one aspect of the market which we don't fail to consider, right? So after mapping this out on the 1 hour time frame, after looking at the daily, we actually want to make sure we scale all the way to the 15 minutes time frame to look out for just a very simple concept of supply and demand. So in order for us to keep things very, very easy, right? So right here, we actually do see the presence of this clean level, clean rejection, and we did see this crazy play, right? Now, in order to soften things out, we actually want to make sure that the supply or demand level we are going to make use of propelled price directly to the downside. We actually want to make use of the last candlestick available, the last bearish candlestick, or the first candlestick that was bearish candlestick that was printed before price expansion all the way to the downside. And we can see at this particular point, this is literally going to take us all the way to the last candle right here, all the way to this particular point, right? So this was in fact the last candle present before price expansion all the way to the downside. And if you ask why do we make use of this, right? Now, we are not looking at this particular level independently. We are considering the entire 4 hour and the daily setup as a whole, and also the 1 hour, right? So whatever happened right here actually happened to propel this move to the downside. And it's also going to like be more of an independent criteria of it, and right? So at the end of the day, we still look at this as an independent criteria. So hence, this particular price action is invalid as to why we would consider this. Now, after we actually did refine this, if you scale back all the way to the 1 hour time frame, you're most definitely going to see that this was literally giving a very shabby price action right here. So we did see price actually give a crazy play where we actually did have a priority test to this particular level, right? Now this does not literally call for an alarm because we actually have continuation setups that we most definitely will look at. And after price actually prints this, right, we actually have nothing to worry about as price is still in its zone, right? And if you look up our exhaustion point, there was most definitely the presence of an exhaustion point at this particular point. So again, if you're looking at to understand what an exhaustion point is, you can refer back to the YouTube channel where we actually did break this down. So right here, we would most definitely do what 90% of traders would actually consider to be, let's say, way more conservative, right? Because we actually want to play every single step or take every single step in respect to capital preservation and at the same time maximizing our profits, right? So we actually do have this particular level, and whatever happens at this particular point, we really don't care. We just would not scale or place limit orders at this particular point or try to hop into this, right? So all I did is go all the way to the 4 hour time frame. And in respect to the 4 hour time frame, right, we actually did see that price started giving us a clean expansion all the way to the downside. Now, at this particular area, now there was literally no exhaustion point right here. We actually had the presence of an exhaustion point at this particular level right here. So this was why we were able to like look at for sales from this particular area, right? So this is it. So after this right here, we actually did see the presence of a hidden engulfing candle. And what is a hidden engulfing candle? This is more like a bearish engulfing candle or a bullish engulfing candle, but in this particular scenario, price did propel this engulfing candle with 2 to 3 candlesticks, right? So this is a bullish candle, and then price failed to like close below it with just one bearish candle, which is a significant bearish engulfing candle. But it did proceed to do this with over 3 candlesticks in price, hence this becomes a very valid criteria to like consider. Now we actually do have the presence of this hidden engulfing candle, and then price created a bullish candle that did give a very valid pullback all the way to the upside. So whenever we actually do have this pullback, this is literally more like price saying, all right, actually having the presence of a lower low, lower high. So our major criteria is always going to be to scaling based off the next level present in respect to the next resistance or support level where the next lower high will be formed, right? So this is the bearish, this is a bullish candle that give a retracement, right? So if we scale all the way to the 30 minutes, keeping it simple and trying to like filter out the noise, we actually do have the presence of a very simple pattern right here, which is pretty much the same thing. So we literally have the presence of what? An SNRC type 2, where we actually do have the same pattern getting present. Price made a lower low and then rejected off this, came back down again, and then pulled back into the same level, into the same origin, right? And then if we did see this, we can literally call this an SNRC type 2. So at this particular point, it's safe for us to say, all right, you can literally scale in of this particular point, and this is it. If we decide to like scaling of this particular point right here, we can see the presence of what? A very crazy impulse, and I actually do make use of a 50-point SL on this particular one to be on a very safer side, right? We actually want to be able to give our trade some room to breathe and then at the same time maximize TP So you actually do have this particular 50 points SL, and the target is always going to be the low that propelled to the retracement, right? So we actually have 50 points right here, and we're back over 375 in respect to the take profit area, which was actually cut. And this same criteria applies to this particular level still, where we actually did catch this particular sell, and boom, price gave a crazy impulse. And same thing is literally applying to the buy scenario, which we actually have at this particular zone, and then price is expected to like give a crazy impulse for the upside. Now, for the trade management, you're looking to stack in, all you literally need to like do right at this particular point is play the easy continuation setup of the 5 minutes time frame. So after I'm done taking my entry of the 30 minutes or having my initial stack positions at this point, right, we can decide to like play the lower time frame continuations, and then at the same time, it should be continuation setups that will make sure we avoid crazy noise in the market, right, and put it on the right side of the market. And how do we do this? We actually want to make sure we scale to the 1 hour time frame, 1 hour time frame, or we actually want to scale to the 5 minutes time frame and play these continuations, right? So on the 1 hour time frame, what do we actually see right here? We actually do see the presence of a 1 hour field engulfing candle still, right? So we do see first entry stacked in right here, second entry stacked in right here, and then we were able to hold this all the way to the downside, all the way to our take profit area. And this also applies to if next setup right here, where we actually did see price drop all the way from this particular point, and we did see price retrace into this, and then boom, dropped all the way to the downside, possibly. So this is literally all and easy peasy, and I hope you guys did enjoy this particular video, and make sure to click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community. And at the same time, don't forget to like and subscribe as we bring in more crazy flip setups for you to be able to like capitalize on. See you guys on the next slide.